Well, there we are, Lynn. Gary Jones, an old teammate of yours, looking a little bit relieved, I think. It could have been more.
Yeah, couldn't it just? I think Llanelli had two occasions here. I think soccer, you'd call it an open goal, and they threw those two chances away. In a game like this, could be hugely influential at the end of the game.
Let's have a look at those two chances, because, as you say, that was quite instrumental.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, well, again, Scott's having a huge influence in the game. Again, not marking the key men. Again, you just don't get better ball than that, and that's a try every time. You got and Steve's put a little dink through. Well played by Gareth Wyatt, but I fancy when you got players like Lee Davis. And again, Lee one-on-one. He's done a sensible thing, but unfortunately, for Llanelli, ball's gone to Gret's hands, and another chance missed.
Ian, you were screaming at them to get it wide on both occasions.
You know, Scott broke beautifully from the back there, made inroads again. As I say, they're the ones that seem to be breaching the advantage line, and then they sucked them in, but when they took it out, they had numbers. But I've got to give, having said that, just seen it again, Ponty's defence was quickly up, and they closed down the space very quickly, so it does make it awkward at times. I just probably, Stephen just sold the space before he got it wide, but there were two chances that they should have definitely scored there.
OK, let's go back down to Stuart, who's with Anthony Buchanan.
Thanks, Graham. Bucks, the score doesn't lie. It's all fairly tight out there, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And in fairness to the referee, I think he's been quite correct in his decision-making. You know, making the mistakes we have allowed Ponty to stay in the game, you know, and that's our fault. Yet we've created opportunities, I feel now, that are going to take us forward in second half. We need to make less mistakes, be more positive in our running, and I think, yeah, we'll see a great second half.
Mr. Jenkins in the dressing room there, I'm sure he's got some ideas on how things can be changed. What's he been saying to them?
Well, you know, keep a focus, less mistakes, you know, the obvious things really, because at the end of the day, you know, it's about being disciplined. And if you're going to give Ponty the opportunity of making mistakes as the way we have, giving penalties away, then, you know, you're going to suffer the consequences. The game's tight, so we just can't give anything away.
Would you be happy if the game opened up a bit for you?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a good crowd here and great atmosphere. You know, Ponty had a great team. They're out there fighting for everything. And yeah, it'd be nice if we could open the game up, yeah.
Right, good luck. Thanks, Bucks.
Cheers, Steve.
Ian, do you think Llanelli are going to change their approach this second half? Perhaps open it up a little sooner?
Well, if I was Gareth, I would just say to them, stick to what they're doing, but just don't lose the ball. Don't give those penalties away. Keep the ball in hand, and I'm sure eventually it'll break through. I think also they should be looking to break through between Sweeney and inside centre. I think just off the second phase to take it through like Scott has gone through a few times. I feel there's a slight weakness there, and then to suck in and take it wide. And I think Ponty have got to somehow get that ball behind the Llanelli forwards. They're playing in the face of the Llanelli forwards' defence, and I think Llanelli forwards have been very strong. Somehow they've got to push them back or get behind it. Otherwise they're going to have trouble then.
Maybe an early substitution. I'd be looking perhaps to bring on Dale McIntosh as the ball-carrying, influential, aggressive sort of player that they're lacking at the moment. And I think Dale would make an impact on the game and at least give him a game line and give him some sort of direction to bring everybody else into the game.
Perhaps lessen the effect of Scott Quinnell in that back row.
Well, at least match him anyway.
Any other subs you might make at that stage, Ian? Or
well, at this stage, from a Llanelli point of view, I'd just work on that, because they've got the momentum coming onto the ball, and Pontypridd are sort of playing with Llanelli on top of them. And unless Ponty change that, and Llanelli don't give away any stupid penalties, I can only see it going Llanelli's way.
Well, we'll see if you're right. Let's go back to our commentators. Teams are coming out. Back to you, Mike Hall and Gareth Jones.
Thanks very much, Graham. It's Paul John leading out Pontypridd for the second half, knowing that they have to up their performance quite a degree on the first. They have to hang on to that ball in one stage and not put themselves under pressure. There won't be too many ole ringing around the stadium come the end of the afternoon. It'll be all scallops.
Yeah, they put themselves under pressure, Gareth, because, as the lads were mentioning at half-time, they've missed too many first-up tackles, particularly Kelly and Michael Owen, you know, on Scott Quinnell. You can't miss him around the base of the scrum, because he will get over the advantage line. And we haven't seen anything of Sonny Parker yet. He hasn't really had a chance to show what he can do. And Pontypridd just got to try and play a little bit wider, because Llanelli are very, very strong around the rucks and walls in defence.
Llanelli looking for a 12th cup win, looking for a second double. Pontypridd know they've got a huge game to come in 8 days' time. this is the end of the road as far as Llanelli is concerned. They can give it their all for the last 40. The likes of Scott Quinnell haven't featured much this season, and I wonder who's got the most left in the tank of these two teams.
Pontypridd, you ready?
Stephen Jones starts the second half with Llanelli leading by a slim margin, and immediately we get a handling error, but Pontypridd have the advantage of possession, in which Kerry Sweeney looks to clear their lines and does so very competently as well. And Kerry Sweeney is striking the ball very cleanly indeed. The long touch on the far side and up near halfway.
Lifting start side. Bit quicker, please. Come on. Bit sharper.
That has been Pontypridd's problem in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. 6 times turned it over. You know, that's far too many for a team of their calibre, and they must sort of stop those silly errors, otherwise they're not going to put pressure on Llanelli.
Hodges, Cooper couldn't get onto it. Cobain got through, but it was recovered by Martin Madden for Llanelli, and they get a second bite at it. Now straight into Kerry Sweeney. Kelly supporting in the tackle, but it's Llanelli going forward again. And again, Llanelli are breaking this game line. Guys to view the change of tactics. Cross comes Brett Davey, slips and is under pressure immediately because of that. Got good support though from Matthew Nuttall. The winger did well. Paul John just for a moment thought there was a yard of space he could use down that blind side. But Brett Davey again looking at his studs, but he can certainly thank the young winger that time.
Yeah, again we've seen a few slips, haven't we? It's obviously lush and a bit wet, that grass. But I do think again Pontypridd just sitting back a little bit, allowing Llanelli to take the contact on their terms, and Finau there again just making that extra yard or two that makes it target for the forwards and uncomfortable for Easterby to sweep the ball away again.
Maybe the footballers like the grass that little bit longer, but the rugby players are suffering a bit this afternoon. Quinnell again takes his team forward. Easterby just back up on his feet now. Chris Wyatt takes it upon himself. And again, the ball recycled by Llanelli. Quinnell wasn't expecting that one. Stephen Jones to Lee Davis. Finau again off his wing. Barry Davis. Cardi. Lovely hands from Llanelli that time, and eventually running out of space.
Yeah, a little lateral, a little across the field, and Pontypridd comfortable there, able to shepherd them out. They went for the two big passes, and Pontypridd read it well. See big cutout passes, and you know they're forced then to try and loop and try and find some space there, and it's not there. Parker and Wyatt marshal it exceptionally well.
Easterby with a take. Martin Madden is the one in control. He won't let anybody else get his hands on it. It's Madden still going forward. Kelly tries to drag him down. They've only got 10 metres to go. Quinnell probes the blind side. In go the scarlet shirts. Back comes the ball. Stephen Jones. Finau at pace from the blind side. Sweeney bravely stands up to him. Parks gets dragged along. This is excellent from Llanelli. Easterby almost makes it to the try line. It's still there for them to have another go at it, and they do have the numbers if they only release the ball. A try must come this time surely. The flick on. Wyatt is hobbling seconds ago, looking for treatment. He tries to keep it alive. Llanelli trying to make the most of their advantage. They come to 6s and 7s, but somehow it breaks for Robin McBride. McBride to Martin Madden! Knocks the ball over the try line, and the long advantage, which is being held by the referee as the try disappears, turns into a penalty.
Well, again, Llanelli having a couple of chances to score here. McBride does well, picks it up. Great little offload. McMadden's there. Davey again just strips the ball from him as he's in the act of diving over the line. Well done, Brett Davey. Got his hand on the ball and stripped it from Madden.